How appropriate this would be in Philadelphia. Long before William Penn set foot in Pennsylvania, the Swedish had come and established their own settlement here in Pennsylvania. New Sweden was a colony of the Swedish Empire along the lower reaches of the Delaware River between 1638 and 1655 in present-day Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Established during the 30 Years' War when Sweden was a great power, New Sweden formed part of the Swedish efforts to colonize the Americas. We'll make our way through and take a look inside. It's a beautiful building, preserving Swedish culture, Swedish American heritage, and New Sweden. The settlement left from New Sweden would be the Old Swedish Church. Please see my video. As we enter this building, we want to notice the Swedish and the American flag. The Swedish colony was absorbed by the English Quakers once William Penn arrived at Penn's Landing and brought English settlers, establishing Philadelphia. Here we are inside the museum. Worthy of an empire as great as Sweden was when they had established New Sweden. Perhaps the greatest contribution of New Sweden to the development of the New World is the log house building technique. The colonists of New Sweden brought with them the log cabin, which became such an icon of American frontier that it is commonly thought of as an American structure. Isn't that interesting? As we go through the building, you'll notice the ceiling did have homage towards the American Indians and the peaceful relations that the Swedish had towards them. But also flanking it, we have some traditional Americana, George Washington and the Declaration of Independence, and Abraham Lincoln. This might be indicative of the Swedish assimilation into America. Sweden's policy toward Native Americans during the colonization of New Sweden was friendly and mercantile. All land that was colonized was directly purchased from local tribes, namely the Lenape and the Susquehannock. Fairly soon after arriving in the land that would become New Sweden, the Swedish colonies pursued learning the language, and a mere 4 years into Swedish expeditions into North America, Swedish missionaries had created dictionaries of the local language. There are no recorded conflicts between the Swedish settlers and the natives. Rather, they supported each other in conflicts. New Sweden supported the Susquehannocks in their war against British colonies, and both the Lenape and the Susquehannocks came to New Sweden's defense when the Dutch attacked. As we go through the museum, you might notice some historical artifacts that have been left from the period, as well as significant Swedes. This museum contains some beautiful Swedish artwork, as well as period furniture pieces. Each room is designed in a different style. Here's one of my favorites, a wooden panel, intricately carved. This card is just describing a piece of relic in the shape of a horse from the time period. Furniture. Please keep in mind these are the 1600s. The Swedes came over in the Victorian Age in huge numbers and moved to the Midwest, Minnesota, etc. During this period, because Sweden wasn't large enough to have a population to export, the colony of New Sweden served to create excitement in Sweden about the possibilities of coming here, which would be manifested in the Victorian Age. With the Swedish were Finnish people and Dutch. As we make our way out the building, notice some beautiful architecture. The Pennsylvania symbol. And beautiful ceiling work. Swedish Historical Museum right here in Philadelphia. Swedish Americans. Be proud.